Math. Math is how the world goes around. It's how business is done. And it won't help you get a girlfriend, but it will teach you how expensive it is to have one. But what is math? And when does it get really stupid and you can just stop paying attention in class? Hi, my name is Dominic Science Man, and today we're gonna answer the question, when does math get really stupid? Now first, we need to understand what math is. Google defines it as the science of structure, order, and reasoning, typically involving numbers, but I define it as some weird stuff that the Greeks came up with. Now I'm sure we've all heard this saying, when will I use this in the real world? You know, you'll be in middle school and the teacher's talking about compound interest, and then little Jimmy raises his hand and goes, teacher, when will this ever apply to us in the real world? And the teacher has to stop the entire lection, turn around, look at Jimmy and go, Jimmy, you little idiot. Oh my goodness, compound interest relates to money and how you can get more of it, Jimmy. This is America. You need money, okay? Do you not understand how this country works? Do you not understand what capitalism is? If you do not have money, you will die here. I barely get paid to teach, Jimmy. I don't get paid to put up with your crap. So next time, use your brain. Use your brain for 10 seconds, Jimmy. Maybe then I'll be able to tolerate your existence for more than 10 seconds. I think I may have some unresolved issues with Jimmy. Now my point with all this is that math will always have some kind of real world application, even the really dumb parts of it. And it teaches you one of the most important skills that you need in life, which is complex problem solving. It's probably the third most important skill you need to have in life. The second is being able to eat. Eating is important. And the first is being able to get all your work done the day before it's due because you procrastinated for the past week. Not that I would know what that's like. And you see, the problem is that the further you get into math, the less it starts to apply to just daily life, and it starts to focus on very specific skills that you will need for very specific careers, which sucks for the rest of us who are forced to take classes that will teach us stuff we'll never use. As much as I made fun of Jimmy, he kinda had a point. Now for some context here, school recently began again, and I'm taking calculus as a sophomore. Wow, Dominic, you must be really smart to be taking calculus as a sophomore, you might have thought right now. And you would be wrong. So far, the only thing that I've learned in calculus is that I have no idea what calculus is, but I'm forced to require it because I was put on the accelerated path, and there's no getting off of that train. But anyways, one day I was in class and the teacher was teaching as one does, and I was totally paying attention, being an excellent student, taking all of my notes. But then I looked up at the board and saw what was happening, and I just thought to myself, wait, what the hell does any of this have to do with anything? You see, at the point of math that I'm at, problems stop being stuff like if John has 12 apples and Kimberly has 18, how many apples do they have together? And it starts becoming stuff like solve for x using y equals 4x squared plus 8x. And to solve it, you're first gonna have to find a common denominator for x and y. Then after that, you're gonna wanna find the square root of 8x. After that, you're gonna wanna find a cosine wave, because why not? After that, you're gonna wanna find how much pi is, like all of it. Then you're gonna want to quit. Next up, there's about 10 tangent things that you have to solve for. I don't know how tangents work actually.
What else is there? What is the unit circle? Because I think you have to plug that one into this. Did you know that the green Power Ranger, the first one, was actually the third red Power Ranger and like 2 others? There's been like 4 Power Rangers, which is pretty cool. Who's your favorite Pokemon? Mine's Charmander, cause he's orange. After that, you're gonna want to plug in the first letter in the title of your favorite anime. Mine's gonna start with J. I wonder what anime that is. I caught it.
And so after you've done all of that, you realize that x equals b. Now you have to solve for b using a toothpick. Now obviously I'm exaggerating, but my point still stands. All the stuff in calculus makes no sense, you're never gonna use it. I don't know why it exists, I'm sure it has a purpose, but not for me. And I realized that math had been like that, for me at least, for a long time. So I was really curious and I wondered, when did math become like this for me? At what stage did things stop, applying? So let's finally answer that question, shall we? I would say that everything from kindergarten to 8th grade is important when it comes to math. Those are the basics. You need them to just function as a human being in the real world. I don't care who you are, I don't care what you think, it's the truth. But once you get into high school, that starts to become a different story. So Algebra 1, I'd say it's pretty useful. It definitely has its applications. Maybe not as much as everything that came before it, but it definitely, you will end up using it throughout your life. Unfortunately, that starts to change around geometry. Geometry is not entirely useless, but it does start to give you a lot more useless information. Like, raise your hand if you use the knowledge of how many degrees can be within a triangle on a daily basis. No one. Unless you're like designing houses or something. Who cares? But then we move on to Algebra 2. Algebra 2 also starts to give you a lot more useless information. What the heck is a logarithm? And then we get to trigonometry. Now, trigonometry is where I would firmly say that math gets really stupid, because I don't know what any of it means. I'm pretty sure it all relates to calculus, but calculus is even more useless. Everything that you learn in trigonometry will most likely not apply to you. Unless you're going into a STEM field, you probably won't even think about a unit circle. Like, I want to be a lawyer when I grow up. Explain to me when I will ever need a sine graph in that occupation, and I will give you $1,000. Like, Your Honor, my client may be accused of armed robbery and attempted murder, but take a look at this graph. Clearly he's an innocent man. Now, I've been rambling for a while now, but my point with all of this is that a lot of the concepts presented to you through, high school math are essentially useless to the average high schooler, because most high schoolers probably aren't going to go into a field that require them, and yet we are required to learn them. We are required to, study for them, take tests on them, and they greatly affect our GPAs, our futures, for stuff that doesn't matter to us. And keep in mind, we have to balance all of that crap with at least 5 other classes, okay? So it's very, very, very ridiculous that we have to take these classes that have no real bearing on our lives after we graduate. Now, obviously, I'm not gonna come in here with a solution oh, hey guys, this is how we solve math. This is how we make it not dumb anymore. No, I'm 15. I'm stupid. I don't know if you've noticed that yet, but I do think I still have somewhat of a point here. So, I just kind of wanted to rant. I'm really tired. Math is not fun for me right now. I just want school to teach me how to do taxes. So, that concludes my rant. Thank you for making it this far in the video, all 5 of you. And join me next week as we discuss the mental illness known as liking Twizzlers instead of red vines.